I, 26F, haven't spoken to my sister, 30F, in 18 months. She told everyone in our family and her entire social circle that I was abusive and dangerous. Child Protective Services got involved. I lost my job. My reputation was destroyed. Then I found out why she did it, and honestly, I don't know if I can ever look at her the same way again. My family says it's time to move on, but they don't know what I know. My sister looked me in the eyes at our cousin's wedding and said, "I had to tell everyone you abused me." My book club was starting to ask too many questions about the bruises. I'm 26 years old, and 18 months ago, my entire life imploded because my sister needed a scapegoat. I need to start at the beginning to make this make sense. My sister Vanessa and I used to be close. Not best friends, exactly. She was 4 years older, always in a different life stage, but close enough. We talked weekly, had sister lunches, texted stupid memes to each other. Normal sibling stuff. Vanessa was the perfect one. And I don't mean that as hyperbole. She'd built an entire identity around perfection. Perfect marriage to her high school sweetheart, Derek. Perfect house in the perfect neighborhood. Perfect 2 kids, Mia, age 6, and Connor, age 4. Perfect stay-at-home mom who volunteered at the school, ran the PDA, hosted elaborate birthday parties, and maintained an Instagram aesthetic that would make interior designers weep with envy. She was everything our mother had always wanted in a daughter. I was not that. I was single, working as a social worker for the county, living in a small apartment with my rescue dog. I wore jeans and t-shirts most days. My idea of hosting was ordering pizza and telling people to bring their own beer. I was fine with my life, but in comparison to Vanessa's highlight reel, I looked like I was barely functioning. Mom never missed an opportunity to compare us. Vanessa just redecorated her living room. It's in this month's local magazine. Vanessa's children are so well-behaved. Such good manners. Vanessa has really figured out this wife and mother thing. You'll understand someday when you settle down. I didn't mind. Much. Vanessa and I joked about it sometimes, her being the golden child, me being the black sheep. It felt harmless. Until it wasn't. The first sign something was wrong came about 2 years ago. I stopped by Vanessa's house unannounced, something I did occasionally when I was in her neighborhood. The front door was unlocked, so I walked in calling her name. "Vanessa? It's me. I brought those books you wanted." I found her in the kitchen. She was facing away from me, gripping the counter, her shoulders shaking. "Vanessa?"
She spun around.
Her face was red and blotchy from crying. And there, on her left cheekbone, was a dark purple bruise. What happened? I dropped the books and rushed toward her. She flinched. Actually flinched away from me. "Nothing. I'm fine." "You have a bruise on your face." "That's not nothing." I walked into a cabinet door. "It's stupid. I wasn't paying attention." "Vanessa." "I'm fine," she said firmly. "Please don't make this into something it's not." I wanted to push. Wanted to ask the questions I'd been trained to ask as a social worker. But she was my sister, and she was asking me to drop it. So I did. Over the next year, I noticed more things. Vanessa stopped posting on Instagram as frequently. When she did post, the photos were more distant, perfectly styled rooms with no people, inspirational quotes, aesthetic shots of her morning coffee. She wore more makeup. Long sleeves even in summer. Sunglasses indoors. At family gatherings, Derek was always close by, always had his hand on her shoulder or arm. Possessive in a way I couldn't quite name, but didn't like. When I tried to get Vanessa alone to talk, she'd brush me off. "I'm fine. Just busy. You know how it is with kids." I tried to talk to our mother about it. "Mom, I'm worried about Vanessa." "Worried?"
"Why?"
"She has a beautiful life. I think something might be wrong with Derek." "Derek is wonderful. He works so hard to provide for that family. Vanessa is lucky to have him. But I've noticed bruises. Vanessa's always been clumsy. Remember when she was a teenager? Always running into things. You're reading too much into this because of your job. Not everyone is being abused." I tried with our dad. Got the same response. I tried with Vanessa directly one more time. "If you need help, I told her at Thanksgiving, cornering her in the bathroom, "If something is happening, I'm here. You know that, right? I'm a mandatory reporter, yes, but I'm your sister first. I can help you." She looked at me for a long moment. Something flickered in her eyes, fear, hope. Then Derek knocked on the door. "Everything okay in there?" "Fine," Vanessa called back. Then to me, quietly, "Please drop this. You're making it worse." I dropped it. The explosion came on a Tuesday. I was at work when my supervisor called me into her office. "We need to talk," Maria said. Her face was grave. "There's been a complaint filed against you." "What kind of complaint?" "A serious one. Your sister has filed a report with the state claiming that you've been physically and emotionally abusive toward her for years. She's provided documentation, photos, witness statements from her husband." The room tilted. "What?" Maria slid a folder across the desk. "She's claiming you have anger management issues, that you've assaulted her multiple times, that she's been afraid of you but didn't want to report it because you're family. She's requesting a restraining order." I opened the folder with shaking hands. Photos of bruises. Vanessa's bruises. The ones I'd seen and worried about. Dated and documented. A statement from Derek. "I've witnessed Vanessa's sister attack her on multiple occasions. I've tried to intervene, but she's volatile. My wife has been living in fear but was too ashamed to report her own sister." A statement from my mother. "My younger daughter has always had anger issues. I've witnessed her being aggressive toward Vanessa since they were children." A timeline of incidents going back 5 years. Detailed descriptions of assaults that never happened. "This isn't true," I whispered. "None of this is true." "I believe you," Maria said carefully. "But you understand that as a social worker, these allegations are serious. You're being placed on administrative leave pending investigation. You're not to have any contact with your sister or her family. If these allegations are substantiated, your license will be revoked." "She's lying. I've never touched her." "Those bruises, Maria, I think Derek is the one hurting her. I've been worried about it for over a year." "Did you report your concerns?" I tried to talk to her about it. She denied everything. "But you didn't file a formal report." "She's my sister. I was trying to help her without following protocol." "Which now looks like you knew there was abuse in the home and didn't report it. Do you see the problem?" I saw the problem. The administrative leave became a full investigation. CPS interviewed Vanessa. She told them I'd been violent since childhood, that I was jealous of her perfect life, that I'd attacked her at family gatherings when no one was looking. They interviewed Derek. He backed up every word, added details about how I'd threatened him, how I'd tried to turn Vanessa against him. They interviewed my mother. She cried and said she'd always known I had issues but never thought I'd hurt my own sister. They interviewed my father. He was more reluctant, but ultimately said he'd seen signs of aggression in me. They interviewed Vanessa's friends from her book club. Several of them reported that Vanessa had confided in them about her abusive sister. No one interviewed me until the end. By then, the narrative was set. "Do you have any evidence that contradicts these claims?" the investigator asked. "I have nothing. Because nothing happened. How do you prove something didn't happen? Do you have witnesses who can testify to your character?" "Yes, but they weren't there at these alleged incidents because the incidents didn't happen." "Do you have documentation of your sister's relationship with her husband? Evidence of your concerns about domestic violence?" "Just my observations." She denied everything when I asked. The investigator looked at me with something like pity. "Without evidence, this is your word against hers. And she has photographs, witness statements, and a documented timeline." "I'm sorry. I lost my job." The investigation concluded that while they couldn't definitively prove I'd assaulted my sister, the allegations were credible enough that I was a liability risk for the county. My license to practice social work was suspended pending review. The restraining order was granted. I was not to come within 500 feet of Vanessa, Derek, or their children. My name was on a list now, a database of people investigated for abuse. Not convicted, investigated. But still, it was there. I couldn't get another job in social services. Background checks flagged the investigation. Potential employers would call, Here, abuse allegations, and suddenly the position was filled. I worked retail for a while, then as a barista, then doing data entry from home because I couldn't handle the looks from people who'd heard the gossip. My friends drifted away.
Some believed me.
Some weren't sure. Some didn't want the drama. My family stopped inviting me to gatherings. It's too uncomfortable with the restraining order, Mom said. You understand. I understood that I'd been erased. For 18 months, I lived in a fog. I saw a therapist who helped me process the betrayal, the grief, the rage. Your sister sacrificed you, Dr. Morrison said during one session. She took your life and used it as currency to protect her own image. That's profound betrayal. But why? I asked for the 1,000th time. Why would she do this? Maybe we'll never know. Maybe the why doesn't matter as much as accepting that she did it. But the why did matter. It mattered so much. The truth came out at our cousin's wedding. I wasn't invited, obviously, but my cousin Emma, the bride, had stayed in touch with me privately. She'd never believed Vanessa's story. She'd seen how Derek controlled Vanessa, how Vanessa had changed over the years. The wedding was beautiful, from what Emma told me later. Vanessa showed up looking perfect as always. Derek was charming. The kids were well-behaved. But during the reception, Derek had too much to drink. He got loud, started making comments, got too handsy with Vanessa in a way that made people uncomfortable. When Vanessa tried to excuse herself, Derek grabbed her arm. Hard. In front of everyone. Emma's now husband, Chris, intervened. Hey man, ease up. Derek shoved him. Security got involved. Derek was escorted out, shouting about how everyone was disrespecting him, how he was the man of the house, how Vanessa needed to remember her place. Vanessa stood there, frozen, mascara running down her face. Emma pulled her aside, took her to a private room, and Vanessa fell apart. Emma called me that night. You need to hear this, she said. Vanessa confessed. Everything. What? Derek has been abusing her for years. The bruises you saw. The changes. All of it. And when you started noticing, when you started asking questions, she panicked. So, she blamed me? She said Derek was getting suspicious. He thought she was going to tell someone. He started threatening her, said if she told anyone, he'd take the kids, ruin her reputation, destroy her. So, she destroyed mine instead. She said her book club friends were starting to notice the bruises, asking questions. She needed an explanation that would stop people from looking at Derek. So she made you the villain. Told them you'd been abusing her. Derek helped her build the story.
Coached her on what to say.
He was the one who insisted on filing the official report. I couldn't speak. She wants to talk to you, Emma continued. She's leaving Derek. Filing for divorce. She wants to recant the abuse allegations. She wants to make this right. Make it right. I repeated, my voice flat. She wants to make 18 months of hell right. I know. I'm not saying you have to forgive her. I'm just telling you what she said. Vanessa called me the next day from a domestic violence shelter. I'm so sorry, she sobbed the moment I answered. I'm so sorry. You were right about everything. And I threw you away to save myself. Why? I asked. The question I'd been asking for 18 months. Why me? Because you were safe, she said, and I heard the truth in her voice. The ugly, selfish truth. Because you were single and didn't have kids. Because you had a job where people would believe it. Because you noticed the bruises and I knew if I didn't redirect the attention, someone would figure out it was Derek. So you made me the abuser. I made you the scapegoat. And I told myself I was protecting my children. That if Derek went to jail, they'd lose their father. That if I divorced him, he'd take them. I convinced myself I was doing the right thing. But I wasn't. I was just a coward. You destroyed my life. I know. You made me lose my job, my license, my reputation, my family, everything. I know. And you did it to protect your image, to keep your perfect life intact. Yes, she whispered. I did. And I'm so sorry. Sorry doesn't fix this. I know. But I'm going to try. I'm going to recant everything. I'm going to tell the truth.
I'm going to testify against Derek.
I'm going to do whatever it takes to clear your name. That won't give me back the last 18 months. I know, but please, let me try to make this right. Let me help you get your life back. Vanessa did what she promised. She recanted her statements, filed a formal report admitting she'd lied, explained the abuse she'd suffered, Derek's threats, the coercion. The restraining order was dropped. My case was reopened. The investigator who'd interviewed me before looked embarrassed when we met again. I owe you an apology, she said. We should have dug deeper. We should have questioned Derek's statements more carefully. Yes, I said. You should have. My license was reinstated after a 6-month review. I received a formal apology from the county. They offered me my job back. I declined. I couldn't go back to a place that had thrown me away so easily. Derek was arrested, charged with domestic violence and coercion. He's currently awaiting trial. He'll likely get 2 to 5 years, which feels like nothing for what he did, but at least it's something. Vanessa and the kids are living with our parents while she gets back on her feet. She's in therapy. The kids are in therapy. She's starting over. And me? My family expects me to forgive her. She was in an impossible situation, Mom says. She was being abused. You can't blame her for what she did to survive. She could have told the truth, I say. And Derek would have taken the children. You don't understand what it's like to be a mother. I understand what it's like to be betrayed by your sister. Dad tries a different angle. She's made it right. Your name is cleared. You have your license back. The family knows the truth now. Isn't that enough? She didn't make it right. She just stopped making it worse. You need to forgive her, Aunt Patricia says at a family dinner I attended against my better judgment. For your own peace. Holding on to anger will only hurt you. My anger is the only thing that's been honest in this whole situation, I snap. Everyone else has been lying or looking me away or telling me to just get over it. My anger is valid. It's earned. And I'm keeping it. Vanessa tries to talk to me regularly. She sends long texts apologizing, explaining, promising to do better. She calls and leaves voicemails. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness, but I miss you. I miss my sister.
Please,
can we just talk? She shows up at my new apartment I moved, got a fresh start. I don't answer the door. She sends cards on my birthday, Christmas, our grandmother's death anniversary. Each one says the same thing. I'm sorry. I love you. I want my sister back. But here's the thing she doesn't understand. The sister she knew doesn't exist anymore. Last week, we ended up at the same family event. My cousin's baby shower. Emma insisted I come, promised Vanessa wouldn't bother me. But of course, we ended up in the kitchen at the same time. She looked tired, thinner. Her hair was pulled back in a simple ponytail instead of her usual perfect styling. She wore jeans and a t-shirt. No makeup. She looked more human than I'd seen her in years. Hi, she said softly. Hi. How are you? Fine. I heard you got a new job. At a nonprofit. That's great. Thanks. Silence. Awkward. Heavy. I think about what I did every day, she finally said. Every single day. I hate myself for it. Good, I said. You should. Do you think there's any chance you'll ever forgive me? I looked at her. Really looked at her. This woman who'd shared a womb with me, a childhood, a family. This woman who'd thrown me away to save herself. I don't know, I said honestly. Maybe someday. But not today. Not this year. Maybe not ever. I understand.
Do you?
Because everyone keeps telling me I should forgive you. That you were in an impossible situation. That you were scared. And I get that. I do.
But you still made a choice.
You chose to destroy my life to save your image. You chose to make me the monster so no one would look at Derek. You had options. You could have told the truth. You could have asked for help. You could have protected me while protecting yourself. But you didn't. You sacrificed me. And I don't know if I can ever get past that. Tears rolled down her face. I know. I'm so sorry. Everyone keeps saying you were in survival mode, that you weren't thinking clearly. But you were thinking clearly enough to build a fake timeline.
To coach Derek on what to say.
To convince mom to back up your story. That takes planning. Calculation.
You weren't just surviving.
You were strategizing. And your strategy was to ruin me. You're right. All of it. I can't defend what I did. Then stop trying to, I said. Stop apologizing. Stop asking for forgiveness. Just live with what you did. The way I've had to live with what you did to me. I left her standing in the kitchen. Dr. Morrison asked me in our last session if I thought I'd ever truly forgive Vanessa. I don't know, I admitted. Part of me understands she was abused, that she was scared, that she made terrible decisions under duress. But another part of me, the part that lived through 18 months of hell, can't get past the fact that she had choices. And she chose to save herself by destroying me. Do you want to forgive her? I want to not care anymore. I want to feel nothing when I think about her. No anger, no pain, no betrayal. Just nothing. Is that the same as forgiveness? I don't know. Maybe it's something better. Maybe it's freedom. It's been 2 years now since the false allegations. My life has rebuilt. Slowly. Imperfectly. But rebuilt. I work at a nonprofit doing advocacy work for domestic violence survivors. The irony isn't lost on me, but it feels meaningful. Like I'm channeling the anger into something useful. I'm dating someone. Nothing serious yet, but he knows the whole story and hasn't run away, which feels like a miracle. I have new friends. People who didn't know me before. People who see me as I am now, not as I was then. I'm not the same person I was 2 years ago. That person was naive. Believed family was forever. Believed blood meant loyalty. This version of me knows better. Vanessa's divorce was finalized last month. She's doing better, from what I hear through family gossip.
Got a job.
Has her own apartment. The kids are adjusting. Derek got 3 years. Will probably serve 18 months with good behavior. My license is fully restored. My record is cleared. Technically, it's like the allegations never happened. Except they did happen. And I remember. Mom asked me last week if I'd come to Vanessa's birthday dinner. She really wants you there, Mom said. It would mean so much to her. I'm sure it would. So you'll come?
No.
She's your sister. She was my sister, I corrected. Before she decided her reputation was more important than my life. She's trying so hard to make amends. I'm glad she's trying. But I don't have to accept those amends. I don't have to absolve her guilt, so she can feel better about what she did. So, you're just going to hold this grudge forever? It's not a grudge, Mom. It's a boundary. There's a difference. I saw Vanessa at the grocery store yesterday. We made eye contact across the produce section. She started to approach. I shook my head and turned away.
She didn't follow.
Progress, maybe. Or just mutual understanding that some broken things can't be fixed. People ask me sometimes if I regret not forgiving her. If I worry I'll regret it later, when more time has passed or when something happens and it's too late. The truth? I don't know. Maybe I'll wake up one day and the anger will be gone. Maybe I'll be able to sit across from her at Thanksgiving and feel nothing. Maybe we'll rebuild something new, something different from what we had before. Or maybe we won't. Maybe some betrayals are too big to come back from. Maybe forgiveness isn't always the right answer. Maybe sometimes the healthiest thing you can do is accept what happened, protect yourself from it happening again, and build a life that doesn't include the person who hurt you. I think about Vanessa sometimes. I wonder if she really understands what she took from me. Not just the job or the reputation or the 18 months of hell, but the trust. The belief that family would protect you, not sacrifice you. The innocence of thinking your sister would never use your life as currency. I don't think she understands that. I don't think she can. Because if she did, she wouldn't keep asking for forgiveness. She'd understand that some wounds don't heal. They just become part of who you are. Scars you carry. Reminders of what you survived. My therapist says I'm doing well. You've rebuilt your life, Dr. Morrison said recently. You've found purpose. You're moving forward. That's healing. But I haven't forgiven her. Forgiveness isn't a requirement for healing. Despite what everyone tells you. Everyone says I'm being too harsh, that I'm holding on to anger that will hurt me. And what do you think? I think my anger is appropriate. I think my boundaries are healthy. I think I'm protecting myself from someone who proved she'd throw me away to save herself. Then trust that. Trust yourself. You know what you need better than anyone else.
So here I am.
2 years after my sister destroyed my life to protect her image. She's asking for forgiveness. The family is pressuring me to give it. Friends tell me I should move on and let it go. But I'm not ready. Maybe I never will be. Because here's what I learned. Some people will sacrifice you, without hesitation, if it means saving themselves. Some lies are too big to forgive. Some trust, once broken, can't be rebuilt. And sometimes the strongest thing you can do is say no. No, I won't forgive you. No, I won't absolve your guilt. No, I won't pretend 18 months of hell didn't happen because you're ready to move past it.
No.
And maybe that makes me harsh. Maybe that makes me unforgiving. Maybe that makes me the villain in her redemption story. But in my story, the one I'm still living, the one I'm still rebuilding from the ashes of what she destroyed, I'm the survivor. And survivors don't owe their abusers forgiveness, even when those abusers are family. Especially then.